Welcome back to the O'Colly Film Room. Chris Becker, joined here by Sudeep, Tumma. We're back in the archive room after OSU's 24-3 victory over West Virginia. We got 4 plays to break down for you guys today. We're getting a little early Christmas present for the guys, Sudeep. So first play here, West Virginia up 3-0 early, 8:39 left in the second quarter. OSU with the ball, first and goal. Spencer's going to take the snap, immediately set his feet, look, find Tay Martin, float one up there for a touchdown. Tay Martin gets his feet down, holds onto the ball for the touchdown for Oklahoma State to open the scoring. Sudeep, let's hear it.
Man, how many times have we seen this between Spencer Sanders and Tay Martin? But I think here we just look at like the recognizability, right? This is an RPO, so it's on Spencer Sanders to decide whether he's gonna hand it off to Jalen Warren on the run or tuck it and immediately throw it, right? And he's got the fade route to Tay Martin. So here's what he sees, right? He sees man coverage across the board, and he sees Tay Martin in a one-on-one. You see that box for West Virginia? They've got all those guys there. There's 7 guys there. He sees a loaded box, but more importantly, he sees that single coverage with Tay Martin, right? So as soon as he takes that snap, he's going to look at Tay Martin. He's going to look to that side and throw up a fade, right? Because this is a mismatch. Jackie Alexander, he's not even their starting cornerback on the outside, but Tay Martin obviously is a savant at catching those contested balls. So yeah, you watch Sanders. You're right. He takes the snap, steps back, and immediately just lofts up that fade. And this is something Sanders does so well, right? The throwing up the fade routes, the 50-50 balls. Mm-hmm. He did with Tylan Wallace too, but you see it here. Watch, yeah, Tay Martin goes straight to the corner of the end zone and perfect body control. You see him in the air, right? Watch that. I mean, this is right. It's just timing everything right, getting leverage, getting that outside leverage, throwing it up there, and you're going to see it on the back end also, where you see, to begin with, watch Tay Martin's feet, right? This is what gets the release first off, because number 3 for West Virginia, he doesn't get his hands on Tay Martin, which is a big mistake when you're dealing with someone who's going to out-physical you. And yeah, and then he gets past him, immediately goes, and right there, he's got perfect outside leverage. Cornerback can turn his head, but there's just, you put it in the right spot, you throw it up right there, there's no way. And you see Martin, you see his vertical. I don't know what his vertical is. Try to look it up. But he gets up there, and he is perfectly right there. And Tay Martin, this is what makes him special, that body control. You see him right there. You see he's got the strong hands, as you're going to see right here. I mean, watch this. His hands, he doesn't even pull the body toward him. Just watch that. He's trying to tuck that ball away. 3 is. But Tay Martin is just so strong with it. He holds on to it, and because of that, you got the touchdown.
Right. Second play here. Still second quarter. 2:08 left this time. OSU facing a 2nd and 5. Sanders is going to take the snap with 2 receivers out wide. He's going to hand it off to Jalen Warren, and Jalen Warren's going to go for a pretty big game, make a couple guys miss. Sudeep, what do you see here?
Yeah, so here the main thing I want to highlight is why Jalen Warren is important to this team, right? We talk about, obviously he's putting up the big numbers, he's putting up the big gain, but the difference between him and most other running backs or whoever else OSU would be playing, is this. It's the burst. It's the initial burst. Those first few steps that Jalen Warren has, his acceleration out of the hole is what's making him and this run game really go. Obviously, the offensive line has been doing a much better job week after week creating holes, but there are plays like this. When you're going up against a line like West Virginia, right, you see those 3-4 monsters up front who are gaining a lot of penetration. It's Warren's ability to make a guy miss in the backfield or make a guy miss in open space, and you're going to see it here, right? This is going to be an inside zone split where you're going to see Logan Carter come across the formation. So Sanders takes a snap, hands it off to Warren, and right here, Jared Bartlett, watch him, number 10. Let's rewind for a second. He's going to be matched up on Preston Wilson on that edge, right? Bartlett's there on the edge, and he immediately gets into the backfield. But what does Warren do? Gets right past him, right? It's that burst, right? It's the cut ability, the one cut ability, and the burst to just get straight out, make a guy miss, and gets the open field, and makes another guy miss, right? I mean, right there. Number 9 is that for West Virginia?
5.
Right there, 5. Yes, excuse me, thank you. And it's the one cut ability in open space to make a guy miss. It's the burst, and then you see him, right? Breaks an arm tackle too, right? And then gets a couple yards. That's what makes Jalen Warren special. Obviously, we've seen, insane contact balance. We've seen all these different traits. We've seen the big games. But this is that burst, the acceleration, that's what's helped him all season long, I think. Because then you see him when he's got a big, 300-pound guy coming in the backfield, he's able to make that guy miss and create what should be a negative 3-yard play into a positive.
Right, the reason they call him Jalen Jukes Warren, I think I might be the only person to call him that, but that's what I call him. So
it's a good thing, and I don't know how many yards that is, maybe 15, 20, but think about that. That should have been negative 3.
This is still in the part of the game where OSU's offense, yes, they had 7 points, and they just drove out and scored their last drive, but they're still kind of struggling to get going, trying to gain that momentum, and this was a big part. The second 5 puts them into field goal range. I believe later in this drive they hit the field goal. So
and you're right, because it's like you sit there and wonder if OSU, because you think about that first drive, second drive, they were not able to get the run game at all. It looked like Jalen Warren was going to be stuck like 20 carries for 30 yards because West Virginia's D-line was getting penetration. They were stopping him in his tracks. But here, you see his plays. I mean, this should be right here. Look where Bartlett is. That should be a tackle for negative 3. But instead, it goes for a much bigger gain, and not only getting a first down, you're getting multiple yards. You're starting to open up the pass game and all those elements.
Right. We'll move on to the next play here. 46 seconds left in the second quarter. West Virginia's going to have the ball this time. Jared Dagan's going to take the snap, and within moments, not even seconds, within moments, Colin Oliver, Brock Martin, the two Leos for OSU's defense will collide and take down for a sack, and effectively in the half. Yep. Sudeep?
So what you see a lot of times with Jim Knowles is his third down packages, right? Where you see the 3-man front, like you said. Obviously, Malcolm Rodriguez and Devin Harper up there at the line, but essentially you have 3 defensive linemen, right? Colin Oliver, Tyler Lacey, and Brock Martin, and that's a pretty substantial package for a pass rushing, right? And the reason you're able to kind of bring in those third down type packages here is because it's first and down, 47 seconds left. So West Virginia's in obvious passing situations. Now you count the numbers, right? You got 5 linemen, you got 5 offensive linemen, and 5 defensive linemen. But for whatever reason, it looks like this is the play call for West Virginia. They slide that protection to the right, and they ended up double teaming Tyler Lacey. Just watch the right side of the line for a second. Watch Lacey in the middle. He's double teamed right there, right? Step back for a second, and Devin Harper's stuck on a man. Malcolm Rodriguez step on a man, and Brock Martin all on the edge. But it's this. Watch Letty Brown, the running back. This is the part that just almost infuriates me. That West Virginia is expecting their running back, Letty Brown, regardless of how good he is in protection, to try to stop a Colin Oliver. Obviously, Brock Martin will look at him in a second and what he does on that other side of the edge. But watch Letty Brown. He's coming down. He's trying to chop block it. No. I mean, and it's not even.
No, Sudeep, I'm not a good math person, but my mom is a math teacher, and I know that 5 is greater than 4.
Right, exactly. And you look at that line, right? I mean, first off, look at 54. Well, let's go to Brock Martin for a second. 54, top of the edge. Brock Martin up there in that 5 technique. He gets there. He gets one hand on him. 64 can't get his hands, and Brock Martin's there. But it's not just the sack. It's not just how quickly they got there. It's the intimidation, right? If you're Jared Day, you're looking to your left. You see Colin Oliver there, you're shook. You can't throw. You're already trying to scramble up. And even if Colin Oliver gets chop blocked there, Jared Diggy's already stepping in the pocket, and OSU's D-line is getting pressure on him and going to make him force an errant throw. But not only did Oliver get there, Brock Martin got there, and you see him as free rushing, and because of that, you get the sack. But even if they didn't, you're already forcing him into situations that he's not comfortable with, and Jared Diggy did not look comfortable for most of that game.
Right, and you talked about it a little bit, but let's touch on the speed that they had rushing the quarterback. They had Brock Martin, who's a smaller Leo. He's fast. Colin Oliver, we all know how fast he is.
Right.
Then you have Devin Harper and Malcolm, who are both linebackers, who are both pretty quick. And then Tyler Lacey, who's huge and quick. So they didn't have those big men like Sione Ossie or Brendan Evers in the middle. They had a very quick pass rush there.
And this is what you do in obvious passing situations.
Yeah, when you get there that quick, it's pretty tough. Let's watch this play one more time, and we'll move on to
just watch that protection, right? Watch this left tackle right there. He immediately slides onto Devin Harper, and they double team Tyler Lacey. First off, that's just respect to what teams think of Tyler Lacey, which obviously we know.
And he'd been killing it earlier this game. So.
Right, and then you look at that, right? There's already 5 offensive linemen on 4 linemen, and you see Colin Oliver just right there. And that's your issue, right? I mean, not only did Colin Oliver not get stopped by that, and let's say 64 for West Virginia holds his block on Brock Martin, maybe Day goes to the right, but there's just, I think, too many mistakes for West Virginia. They didn't block very well, and schematically, I think this is a mistake.
And right when it first happened, I thought Colin Oliver was the jump over Letty Brown, because that's what he kind of prepared to jump, and Letty went low, and he went around him. So, bad block all around from Letty Brown. It was good effort, horrible execution.
I think it's just I think if you're going to do anything for West Virginia, you keep all 5 of those linemen onto one defensive lineman each.
And 5 and 5 is that's equal.
And then have Letty Brown chip on wherever you think the biggest thing is. But instead to slide to the right, I personally don't see it.
Right. Now, whether you want to think of this as a Christmas present or maybe a Thanksgiving present if your family's into those. Fourth play here. This time 8:05 left in the fourth quarter. West Virginia again with the ball, 1st and 10. Jared Diggy again is going to take the snap. And kind of like deja vu, the last play, who else but Colin Oliver is going to get to him in the backfield?
And the reason I like this one is because, we talk about that Leo so often and the versatility of moving that guy around. So for that Leo, as we refer to, Colin Oliver, right? He's right there. He's merged between, is that Ossie and Jaden Jernigan, I believe?
I believe so.
Yes. Yep, but you're going to see him move at the last second, and that's the key here. But it's the fact that you can move this guy at all 9 techniques. You can move him at linebacker, inside linebacker, outside linebacker. You have him on the defensive line. You have a defensive tackle. You have it everywhere. And here, he's right here. He's placed above the guard, essentially. And right before Diggy takes that snap, you see him move there, right there, right? That's not enough time for an offensive line to communicate that. That's not enough time for an offensive line to figure out how to slide it, for Jared Diggy to try to slide protection, to do anything. But West Virginia picks it up relatively well, in the sense that they don't get confused. The guard goes with Jaden Jernigan, the tackle goes with Colin Oliver. But here you just see the one-on-one ability of a Colin Oliver. What makes him special? Not only the schematic things that Jim Knowles does, but here you see it, right? Just the bend. Watch him get low. There, that is impressive, right? The athletic ability and the bend to just go down there. He doesn't even need the rip move and gets down on him. And that's just the sign. I mean, how many times have we seen those elite pass rushers in the NFL stick one arm out, strip sack down, right? That's exactly what this looks like. Gets around the edge in just in the matter of a second and gets down and brings Diggy down.
Poor Jared Diggy this game, man. You can't help but feel bad for the guy. He got sacked 8 times, hurried like I think 4 other times. He was getting hit all over the place, and he hadn't really been used to getting hit. He only allowed 17 sacks all year up to that point.
And a lot of that is the fact that Jared Diggy is what's impressive about him is obviously he's not the best deep ball thrower, but he's a smart decision maker. He gets the ball out quickly, and to his speedy receivers, right? Guys who are able to make plays after the ball. They run screen plays, a lot of curls, hitches, crossing routes, slants. All those types of plays are in Diggy's, and that's what he's really comfortable with, right? But what OSU did so well was not only clamping down on that. Obviously, they gave the tunnel screen early, right, to Sam James. But after that, they just clamped down in the low area, which they also did last year. But also this pass rush. I mean, you have the coverage there, and the pass rush combined with that. And obviously, you want to the thought process is when you have the short passing game, then you're going to negate some of that pass rush because you're getting the ball out so quickly. But 2 things. One, which we didn't even really touch on this game, is OSU did an excellent job neutralizing West Virginia's run game. Because this is not their game. They're not going to drop back and pass 50 times. They're going to Letty Brown, power run, smash mouth football, and then they're also going to rely on that short passing game because Diggy's such a good decision maker, right? But they weren't even able to do that because of this guy, right? I mean, because of this pass rush and also the coverage, and it was just the perfect formula on defense, I think.
Right, it was an all-around good game. Again, 24-3. The score right here on the screen is the final score, as it tends to be late in the fourth quarter with OSU. Offense not normally the most explosive thing in the fourth quarter, but that's all we have for you guys today. O'Calley Film Room, Chris Becker, Sudeep Tumma. We'll be back next week after this week, where Cowboys take on TCU in Stillwater at 7 o'clock.